Hi everyone, I'm Cynthia Lord, and I'm going to teach you a little secret about stories today. Most stories, including every fiction book that I've had published, follow a very basic formula. So whether it's a 32-page picture book or a 500-page novel, most of them follow this very basic formula. It comes down to a single word, and the word is wow. Because that's what we want readers to say when they read our books, right? They read them and say, wow. Now the first W stands for this word right here. But I'm putting a question mark at the end because it's a question. What does your character want? In most stories, the main character wants something, and that's going to drive the entire story. So it's got to start in the beginning of the book, and it has to be big enough and hard enough to last all the way to the end, the same thing. But we are not going to give our character what they want right away, because as soon as they get it, your story's over. That comes at the end of the book. So the first thing we're going to do is the O word, which is obstacles. And those are problems. So there's going to be some reasons why it's hard for your character to get what they want. So the main character wants something, and there's at least one reason or problem that it's going to be hard for them. And those two things start a story. That's the beginning right here. The character wants something and a reason it's hard. So if I look at some of my books, in rules, the main character wants a friend, but she has a brother that makes that hard. In this one, the main character wants to win a photography contest, but her dad is the judge of the contest. In this one, the main character wants to find a home for a ferret, but the ferret is a rascal, so it's going to take a very special person. And then sometimes, maybe you don't even tell that in words. Like if I look at the first page of Hot Rod Hamster, I look at a sign here, Hot Rod Race noon today at Four Paws Speedway, sponsored by Rusty Hydrants. I know right away what that little hamster wants. He wants to win a race. And I know what's one big problem for him. In fact, it's a little problem. Look how tiny he is. So on this very first page, you know both what he wants and what one of the obstacles is. Then the main character is going to try all kinds of different ways trying to get what they want. And this is the whole middle of the book. One thing, and then they try another thing, and then they try another thing, and another thing. And none of them can work. As soon as they work, your story's over. And at the very end, there's another W and another question. And the word is win? But there's a question mark because you get to decide, did your character get what they wanted? And sometimes you might decide yes. Maybe they do win the race. But a lot of times in my novels, the answer is no. But there's a little twist at the end, because we don't want the reader to just feel bad at the end of the book. So maybe they didn't get exactly what they wanted, but they got something else. And now let me tell you how I do this with kids. We do a story together. And usually for kids, what we choose is that the main character wants a dog. Because I don't know about you, but I know that when I was a kid, I asked for all kinds of pets, and I often ran into obstacles. So I think, well, if you wanted a pet, what's an obstacle or problem you could put in that character's way to make it hard for them? Usually kids say things like, they want a dog, but someone in their family is allergic. They want a dog, but they don't have enough money. They want a dog, but someone in their family is afraid of dogs. Or maybe they live in an apartment and the landlord says no pets. Or they don't know what kind of dog they want. Or everybody in their family likes cats, not dogs. You could come up with any of those ideas and they would all be right answers. But in a story, we're just going to have to pick one to get started with. So if I say I'm writing a story where the main character wants a dog, and I'm going to choose money. Let's say they don't have enough money. Then I move down to the next stage, and I just think about ways that kids could get money to get a dog. And I need a lot of ideas now because this is the whole middle of the book, and I can use every one of those ideas if I want. So maybe a lemonade stand, maybe a yard sale. How about they try to win the lottery? What about walking other people's dogs? So you get practice too. Or babysitting. And then I start to think, what could go wrong? What could go wrong if you had a yard sale? What if you sold something that didn't belong to you? Or babysitting. Lots of things could go wrong, right? But you have to be a little bit careful here because a lot of times what will happen is somebody picks something too big. And that will take your story in a different direction. So if I was babysitting and one of the kids got lost, that would be too big of a problem. So we want to keep the little things that happen small. And then at the end, we just want to know, did we get a dog? And as the writer, you get to choose. You can choose yes, or you can choose no. So if, for example, I was writing a story where Dad is allergic to dogs this time, and we tried everything. We took him to the doctor, we tried different kinds of dogs, we tried keeping the dog in our room. None of it worked. We can't get a dog. What could be a happy ending for that story where we don't get a dog? Maybe you volunteer at the animal shelter. You get to spend time with dogs there. What if you got a different pet? Maybe a turtle, or a bird, or a rabbit. Something that would be okay for people with allergies, maybe. So every time I'm writing a story and I get stuck, this is what I think about. I ask myself, what does my character want? And then if I don't know, I think about that. And if I wanted to write 100 pages and by page 10, I don't know what to do, maybe they need a harder obstacle. Or maybe I just need to try more things with my main character before I find out if they won. Happy writing, everybody.